Waiting on one of the Bitcoin ETFs to get approved? Don't hold your breath. Welcome back, everybody. What a lot of Twitter drama. Anyways, let's take a look. While all of this Twitter drama is happening and everybody's fighting and all of this stuff, all right, so we've got this tweet out of Bitcoin News, and it says, breaking, SEC delays all ETF approvals to early 2024. Now, hopefully, some of the people, some of the noobs who came into Bitcoin did a little more research, didn't just, jump ship and be like, oh my gosh, that's it, I'm not waiting around for this, all this stuff. This is why we tell everybody to zoom out and don't pay attention to the noise, because in this space, every single piece of news can be seen as some type of a pivotal event, which 99% of the time they are not, just like this. Anyways, let's put some color around this one, right? There's a tweet from James Seyfarth. Is that a real name? That can't be a real name. I'd be so disappointed if I had fart in my last name. Anyways, not judging, just can't help but read his last name. Anyways, okay, so he's a CFA, CAIA, ETFs, shitcoins, asset management at Bloomberg Intelligence. Okay, so he's got access to a lot of data. A lot of tweets / publications saying things are de facto pushed out to 2024 for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Hype for approvals right before halving, etc., etc. But there's still a bunch of deadlines in 2023 squared off in green below. Plus, we're waiting on Grayscale and the GBTC court case. And I may also add, even though it's not really relevant to Bitcoiners, but when we're talking about the space, there's also the SEC battle going on with XRP, the SEC battle going on with Coinbase as well. So even though those things are not directly related to the ETF, you have to at the very least, you can't ignore them and pretend that they don't exist. So anyways, let's take a look at this chart, because I think that this is, again, right, what we're trying to do is dispel the FUD, because I'm sure that there's some noobs to Bitcoin that woke up and saw this garbage news from Bitcoin News and was like right away like, oh crap. I mean, look, if you're buying Bitcoin based on the Bitcoin ETF news, you're going to get wrecked anyways, okay? Because you will not have the conviction. You will not have the conviction to hold. And unless you're actually doing your research and learning about Bitcoin and understanding why its qualities are so important, okay? So unless you're doing that, you're more than likely going to see this type of news and you're going to get worried. So here's the actual chart that James was referring to. So here we go, okay? So these are the filings, right? ARK, iShares Bitcoin Trust, Bitwise, VanEck, WisdomTree, Invesco, Wise, Valkyrie, Global X. Okay, so here we go. So here's their filing dates, okay? And this is, you see, he was nice enough to square this off for us in green, okay? So here's the first deadline, the second deadline, third, and the final one, okay? So indeed, there are timelines that show that the final deadlines will be in 2024, but if you take a look at the second deadline, so ARK just passed theirs. iShares, BlackRock's ETF, is coming up in September. And you can see right here, VanEck as well, September. And then finally, Global X is in October. Now we have a little bit more clarity on the dates, okay? And now James concludes by saying, that said, I'm primarily watching 2 dates, periods, for when approval news could drop. First, some time period after the Grayscale court decision, if Grayscale wins, say 45 plus days, where the SEC will just approve a bunch. Second is by ARK 21 shares, January 10th, 2024, final deadline. Obviously, I have no crystal ball. So I personally don't know, and I don't really care either. But I do know this. I do know that this type of news causes some pretty interesting fluctuations to happen in the market. And I'm not talking about by market makers. I am talking about by skittish retail that is willing to sell into these lower fiat price points. And it's kind of interesting because I remember when I first got into this space and I would see news like this and I was like, oh no, like now we're in trouble. Now we don't know what's going to happen. This could all just end. And again, I was thinking like this because I didn't understand. I did not understand Bitcoin as well as I should. I didn't understand the qualities that made Bitcoin different. And of course, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the ETF. But what it does have to do with is your ability to buy and accumulate the scarcest bearer asset in all of human history without selling it for chump change. Okay, like that's really what it is. It's about having that conviction because this news isn't going to stop. Like, it's not like we're just going to have the ETF FUD today and then tomorrow it's, sunny skies and everything is wonderful again. No, there's going to be more Bitcoin ETF FUD coming along the way. And not only that, but the battle between Gemini and Barry Silbert's digital digital currency group, DCG, I think. Anyways, the company that owns GBTC essentially. Okay, well, they're having some pretty bad arguments. Like, they're not actually seeing eye to eye. Barry is claiming that they don't owe that he or his entities do not owe a penny. So my point is that these issues are not being solved overnight. Okay, so when we're looking out at those ETF timelines, forget about them. Okay, don't even waste your time. Don't let that come into your psyche. The market is going to do what the market is going to do. Zoom out. Don't pay attention to the noise. If you've done your research and you have enough conviction, all of this news is just going to pass you by. Okay? It really is. It's, for a split second, you'll look at it, you'll go, oh, that's interesting. But then you'll remember what you actually know about Bitcoin and you're like, yeah, they'll figure it out when they figure it out. I'll just keep stacking. A lot of things that people don't understand, okay, and I remember this when Bitcoin was at 3,500 USD, okay, after the bull run to 20K, and we had come back down, and this was obviously before COVID, and I remember, like, people were sitting there saying, well, why am I going to pay $3,500 for a Bitcoin when I could just wait? It'll be worth $1,000, and if I wait even longer, it'll be 500. Everybody wants to pretend that they're some kind of a genius, right? Like, everybody likes to sit there and think when they look at a chart, I'm the one seeing the chart differently. No, you're not. You're seeing it just like everyone else, okay? You may have different ideas about what's going on in the chart, but the reality is that you or I are not some, absolute market finance genius, okay? And so you do need to be humble. Like, that's one of the things that Matt Odell says that is true, right? Stay humble, stack sats. And what I believe he is talking about is that you can't let it get to your head. And even though we believe that Bitcoin is going to shake the world and change things, this is where the stay humble part sets in. Okay, it's not happening from one day to the next. It's not just like all of a sudden, like, boom, that's it. Bitcoin's $1 million. Like, that's just not how that works. Okay, there is going to be. It is essentially. It's almost like, maybe it's bad terminology, but it's the trough of despair. Okay, we are going to have to go through these very difficult times. Okay, number one, number two, the corporate-owned media. Is exactly what I just called it, corporate-owned media, and the corporate-owned media is not necessarily supportive of Bitcoin. So we are going to see an increasing amount of FUD. I think even leading up to the approval of any of these ETFs. So guys, just, you know what? This is still one of those times you got to not pay attention to the noise, okay? At the end of the day, these media outlets, they have to create, they have no choice but to create some type of drama to pull you in. And really, all we need to do is realize what's drama, what's noise, what's signal, and act accordingly. All right, guys, that was today's clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you all tomorrow.